Are you ready to come out of there? You're going to be safe.
Tonight on Q2, a question of justification. A Yellowstone County Sheriff's deputy, the subject of a coroner's inquest here in Billings, will take you inside the courtroom. Plus, flames of fury, leaving behind miles and mountains of devastation.
Try not to take it personal, but yeah, it's my home.
As wildfires rage in California, the destruction is hitting too close to home for one of our own reporters and his family.
For if we live and if we die unto the Lord.
Plus, a fond farewell.
He is by far the greatest ambassador, a true friend of Habitat for Humanity.
As former President Jimmy Carter is laid to rest, the local Habitat for Humanity remembers the influence and inspiration he provided. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Our top story, a Yellowstone County deputy took the stand today in a Billings courtroom as an inquest was held to determine if his use of force is justified. It dates back to a 2023 case in which 35-year-old Eileen Not Afraid was shot and killed by law enforcement. That shooting coming after an armed robbery, police pursuit, and a 2-hour standoff on a busy Billings roadway. Our Haley Monaco is covering this 2-day inquest and has the latest.
During the inquest, they showed multiple different camera angles and spoke with different officers about the events leading up to the officer-involved shooting.
It's time to give up. Okay, it's time to come out, and we need to do it with both your hands where we can see them the whole time.
Those words from BPD officer Jeremy Beckel came near the end of a standoff on 6th Avenue North on March 25th, 2023. Hours earlier, the incident started on Billings West End, when a 911 caller claimed Eileen Not Afraid had pointed a gun at her and stole her vehicle. Not Afraid led police on a pursuit through downtown Billings into the Billings Heights, colliding with multiple vehicles along the way before ending on 6th after Not Afraid crashed into a fence. An over 2-hour-long standoff would begin from there.
Officer Bach, one of our crisis negotiators, is right there.
Thursday was the first day of a coroner's inquest in front of a citizen jury to decide if the Yellowstone County Sheriff's deputy shooting was justified. Most of the day was taken up by different officer testimony, as well as Officer Beckel's body cam footage of the incident, including negotiation efforts.
Come on, Eileen, start small. Calm everybody down, show them you're a good person. Just put your hands on the steering wheel for us.
Officers attempted to get Not Afraid to exit without her gun, but she remained in the vehicle with only one hand on the steering wheel until gas was deployed into the car.
And Detective Sutton was the one who deployed the gas, is that correct?
Yep, as you can see right there, he throws a gas spear.
The standoff concluded at 6:24 p.m. when Not Afraid exited her vehicle, still holding her gun. We will stop the video here, but this is the angle and sound from the body cam footage. Sheriff's Deputy Christopher Etter fired 4 shots. Not Afraid later died at a local hospital. The jury is expected to make its decision Friday. In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Meantime, the prosecution wrapped up its case today in the long-awaited deliberate homicide trial of Jacob Troxel. The 31-year-old Troxel has been charged in the August 2022 shooting death of 29-year-old Michael Duran, a crime captured on our Q2 security cameras. That incident first began as a case of road rage before Troxel is seen confronting Duran on North 32nd and 4th Avenue North, eventually shooting him 7 times. The defense will begin its testimony tomorrow, with the trial expected to stretch into next week. Frustrations are on the rise tonight, and it all deals with the snow still piled up outside. The city of Billings is working on plowing residential streets, but some neighborhoods are complaining their areas are still a mess. With those complaints in mind, the city is now reevaluating their plans for next year. Our Isabel Sparts dives deeper into this winter fiasco.
Streets like this one here on Terry Avenue are one of the many still waiting to be plowed by the city. And as the snow begins to melt, it's brought up some concerns among Billings residents on the time it's taken to plow. But the city says that they're working on it the best they can with the resources that are available. when it comes to picking kids up from school lately. Billings mother Freddie Bennett says it's been difficult.
When you're trying to pick your kids up and you get stuck, it's not fun.
It's the recent snowfall from last week that has created slippery conditions to drive in.
If the roads aren't plowed by the schools, it puts the kids at risk who have to walk home.
The City of Billings Street Traffic Division has plowed the city's main arteries. Residential plowing began Sunday, with the city divided into 6 zones.
The amount of time it took to do each zone has caused problems for, zones 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Days after the storm, zones 5 and 6 have yet to be plowed. Work in zone 4 started Thursday.
We always want to be better, but it always comes with a cost. And what do the citizens of Billings want?
Street Traffic Division Manager Derek Miller says that's a question the city is now pondering. While the city crews plow Billings' busiest streets, residential plowing is handled by a contractor.
It takes time. The contractor has those blades throughout town at job sites. They're expensive, and it takes time for the contractor to move those in.
K2 Civil is the company that's handled that plowing for the past several years. Miller says there's only one other contractor in town capable of handling the work, but that would double the already high costs of plowing.
A lot of the contractors are resilient to get the blades out there and bid on it, even if they do have it.
The city says it could take up to 11 days to clear the snow from this storm at the cost of $40,000 a day. That's roughly $8 per Billings household, but doesn't include additional costs of sand and salt.
We figure out that we're running these blades 24 hours a day, so it's overtime.
High costs, as frustrations for some homeowners continue to pile up.
I think everyone's just doing the best that they can with what they have, but is it possible that schools can make it to the top of the list so we don't have to worry about kids walking home and getting in an accident?
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Americans observed a national day of mourning today as the life of former President Jimmy Carter was celebrated in a state funeral. Carter's flag-draped casket left Capitol Hill for the last time this morning before arriving at Washington National Cathedral for one final goodbye. 3,000 special guests attended his funeral, including every living president, with President Biden delivering one of the eulogies.
Carter's friendship taught me, and through his life taught me, the strength of character is more than title or the power we hold.
The service was the 5th official national funeral for a president held at the cathedral. Carter departed the nation's capital for the last time this afternoon, headed for his hometown of Plains, Georgia, where he'll be buried next to his wife, Rosalind, of 77 years.